Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in.
Woohoo! Let's get started, you guys. So the name of this presentation is Creatrix, and I'm sure most of you signed up because of the subtitle. So that is go from overworked to the successful lazy bitch everyone is talking about, right? And that's purposely triggering because some people really would not love to be called a lazy bitch by people on the internet, but come on, we all really want that. We all want to be successful and also just chilling. It all feels cool. So today we're going to be talking about the 3 phases of business, the 5 externalized energies, the soul of your business, and the opportunity of the visionary CEO. And I'd also love to hear, is anyone from Wealth? Last week, I gave a presentation to Wealth, Carolyn Elliott's membership last week in her business and writing thing. So I'd love to hear if anyone's from Wealth. Yes, I'm in Wealth. Okay, so this is going to be a familiar presentation, my friends. There's some different things. We're going to do extra exercises, but a lot of the same. Better in my opinion. But so my name is Sam Garcia. I am the owner of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. We love to say it's the agency as woo as you. And I've been running Carolyn Elliott's marketing since April 2019 and running online launches and marketing for 6- and 7-figure businesses for the last 10 years. So really fun being that back end person and sharing that wisdom today so that you can actually gain some insight from that. So I'm also the host of the podcast, Business as a Magical Practice, Creatrix and Guide of the Alchemical Business Intensive, and Farmer's Wife, 2 regenerative agriculture expert living your systems on Maui. So I am also an introvert and an implementer who works 99.99% of the time alone, one-on-one or online in small groups. So please excuse my mania in presenting to hundreds of highly sensitive people today, right? I know you can feel me. I know that our energy really transfers, especially if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you might be a highly sensitive person. So I just wanted to make that note, and I love you. Okay, so there are 3 phases of business: the startup phase, the owner reliant phase, and the owner independent phase. So for the startup phase, this is when obviously you're just getting started. You're just getting started in your business, and there's a lot of hustling and grinding, and there's a lot of hope and excitement and what ifs and potential and excitement and all of that. But there's also doubt and senses of doom and questioning whether it's actually going to work out. You don't have proof that it's going to work out. So highly emotional time and a pretty time and energy dependent time. The next phase is our owner reliant business. So this is a business where you're now covering your costs, you're making a good income, you probably have a profit past that, but the business depends on you. You've pretty much created a job and not a business, because if you left your business at any point, it just wouldn't happen. Could you? And you would know this is if you left your business for a month with no contact, you can't check your email at all. What would happen? Would it be falling off a cliff with a bunch of fires going up, and projects would be stalled and decisions wouldn't be made because you're gone? That's how you know you're in an owner reliant business. And that's probably what the vast majority of small businesses are in, that owner reliant stage. You can't leave. It relies on you. The next one is the owner independent stage. So the owner independent stage is you have a business, you are the business owner. You own it, it's running, And it doesn't matter whether or not you show up for a day. Everything, and we usually think of this with these massive corporations where the owner is often Tahiti, he just owns a portion of a business, but this is actually the kind of business that we want to be planning for from the very beginning and designing and shooting for, whether or not you actually want it to be owner independent. Okay. So you might be saying, you might be asking, but I love my work. It's my life work. It's my sole purpose. I don't want to sell it or stop working at it. Why would I care about it being independent of me? But it is actually a disservice to your business and your mission if you build a business that is dependent on you. So let's look at why. First things first is your priorities will change over time. You might want to focus on having a baby or a new business venture, start a family. You might have a health concern or problem. You might want to travel the world for a year or just start passion projects or funnel a ton of money into philanthropic efforts, right? And if you have a business that's dependent on you, then you pulling away your time and energy will affect the revenue that it comes in. It'll make it so that you can't actually do all of these other things. And okay, let's say you're like suddenly a baby is your number one priority, then your business is going to die. Your clients won't be served. Your team will lose their jobs. So the next part of this is when your business does not need you to make money and money is flowing into your life as profits from your business, you'll only show up from inspiration, from service, from creative spark, from passion, instead of obligation, right? That like bad O word, obligation. And you can feel that different energy, right? Like if I'm showing up for my business because it is dependent on me, it needs me. If I don't do these things, it will go bad. Like things won't get done. People will be unhappy versus everything, my business is sufficient on its own. And I'm just showing up as this visionary, as this creatrix, as this really excited person who just wants to express their gifts in the world. Like, obviously, your best work in the world is going to come from that energy and from that place versus obligation. So the third one is it is just bad business. So your business will be easier to scale if it's less dependent on you, if not fully dependent on you, because you as a person, a powerful, magical person, as powerful and magical as you are, you only have so much time and energy, right? It's also your people can progress in their capacity, right? Like, what if instead of just having an assistant who you're managing, instead you have someone who's stepping up into these high level roles within your business and developing as their own people. Like that's what I think the second most common reason that someone will quit a team other than money is or quit a business, like quit their job, is because they weren't challenged enough. They weren't given enough responsibility. Okay. So business is more stable when it's not reliant on you. What if something happens to you? I mean, you cover that in point number 1, right? Like because of your own desires or because, you get hit by a bus. I don't know. Like the business wouldn't survive. And I think I was just reading this stat the other night. I wish I could pull the exact numbers, but a shocking number of businesses won't last 30 days after the owner dies. I know, kind of morbid, but do you really want the thing that you're spending, you're putting your life energy and it's like your life's work to die if you die? Don't we want it to set it up to live on? And it makes it more attractive to sell. And that's not super, probably not super relevant to everyone. So making your business more attractive to sell is okay, what if 10 years from now you want to move on and you don't even want to own your business? You can actually sell it. And not to bring gender roles in here, but men business owners are significantly more likely to build businesses that they sell versus a woman will just shut down her business when she wants to stop working in it. When instead you could be selling it. If you have a profitable business, you can actually sell it. So, okay. And just to throw a little analogy in the mix, if we're looking at our three phases of business, the infant, the startup phase is the infant. Of course, we're putting our time and energy and love into our infant, our baby business. Of course we are. It needs us. It needs us to grow. And I mean, we're going to talk about how to do that, like how to actually build a powerful business in the rest of this. But the owner reliant business is like the adult child living in your basement. Who really wants that? Like it's a full grown business, but it's still completely dependent on you. And then we have the owner independent business, which can be the functional adult that moves out of the house, or something that you can have a love affair with, like a separate thing that's successful and thriving outside of you that you can actually like have a full on relationship with versus the adult child in the business. And I have some memes for you guys. Every single day, I wish my adult son would move out of my basement. Don't be this person. Instead, we want to be like, are your pants a compressed file? Because I'd love to unzip them. Like, we want to have this like juicy relationship with our business, right? Okay. So I would love to take the next 3 minutes with you all to journal on why you want this. Why would you want to set up an owner independent business, a business that is successful with or without you? What makes this worth the time, money, and energy that actually goes into building this? What would it give you time to pursue? How would you be able to contribute more? How would it benefit your family? How would it improve the lives of your team and your clients? So take out the journal now, and we'll take the next 3 minutes to journal on that. For people who are just rolling in, we were talking about the why you would actually want to build a business that can function with or without you, and what that would actually allow you to do. If your business is successful, bringing in revenue, making a profit, functioning, growing, thriving without you, what would that actually allow you to do within your business and out of your business? Okay, everyone. If anyone's willing to share in the chat, I'd love to see what reasons you have. What is your why behind actually doing this work? And in the interim, we'll continue on. So as magical business owners, we tend to focus on increasing our personal power. And this is actually only a small fraction of the picture and the power we have access to. So we do all of our spell work or a meditation or our journaling and the mindset work and the eating healthy and sleeping well. We do all of these things to build our personal power when there's actually so much more power that we can be tapping into. And that is your business is a separate entity from you. Okay. This is a key concept that I really want to drill in today. And 222, you guys. Your business can be a powerful ally. It is a source of wisdom. It is a source of power, as we've said. And how do we actually be a successful lazy bitch? Well, you have to do less and have your business produce more. And this is a mindset shift in a lot of ways. I mean, you have to actually do the work of creating a business that houses that energy and houses that potential. But once you actually like flip that switch, it can really like start happening. That's why we're going to be talking about externalized energies. And what that actually is building the power of your business. So if I'm me and I am working on my power through journaling and meditation and feng shuiing my house. That's awesome. But we also want to be, as business owners in this growth phase, while we're pre-owner independent, we wanted to actually be building the power within our business, of our business. So that's what externalized energies are. And the 5 we're going to go through today is money, reputation, intellectual property, team, and systems. Your business can actually house energy. It can be a container for energy that you can draw from. So instead of being in that infant stage of your business where all of your energy, all of your time, all of your money is going into your business, you make your business a container of power and energy so that you can draw that from it. And it is fully functioning on its own, fully powerful on its own. So let's dive in. Let's start with money. Okay, so money. Your business's money is not your money. Okay. Your business brings in money, pays you a salary, pays for its expenses, and you get the overflow, which is profit. A lot of people, especially when you're starting out, you think your money is your business's money. Your business's money is your money. So step 1 in creating your business as a separate entity is actually separating that out. Your business has its own money. And of course, when you're before the sufficiency point, when you're before the point where you can actually pay your bills and your business's bills, it's hard to do. But as you actually get past that sufficiency point, you actually need to be building these things in place so that your money and your business's money become separate. All the revenue that comes in your business, like after expenses, the profit, that's your money. Your salary in your business, that's your money. And then also your business has its own emergency fund. This is an important one in here because as we just experienced in 2020, how many businesses died in 2020 because of COVID-19? When general business advice, basic business advice is you have 6 to 12 months of operating expenses, which would include your salary, 6 to 12 months of operating expenses saved up as an emergency fund for your business. I mean, it just like, how many people actually follow that advice? Apparently not that many. And of course, you should have your own separate emergency fund, but that's personal finances anyways. Okay, so practical advice for this. Set up a separate bank account for your business, or bank accounts if you need them. Set up a separate credit card for your business if you use credit cards. So your business as a separate entity is actually building credit. Define your salary. This, of course, is after that, like that sufficiency point in your business. Actually define your salary. How much money are you taking from your business as a salary month after month? Like maybe go through your personal expenses or set a dream salary. I don't know. Also create monthly profit and loss statements. And as I was typing this out, I was like, oh, we need like a sexier term than profit and loss statements. Oh, every month seeing, okay, this is how much money came in. This is how much money went out. Like, are there things do I need to focus on making more money? Do I need to focus on cutting expenses? Start your business as an emergency fund. And I do recommend the book Profit First. Love it. I think the author is really fun and funny, and the audiobook, he reads it. But it's like very, very practical advice of like, do this percent and that percent and this thing and that thing. But it's focusing on like the profit of your business and building up the profit of your business and how to actually set up the bank accounts for that so that you're building the physical version of the mindset of building profit. Okay, next one is reputation. So your business has a name of its own, right? Even if it's a personal brand, like it is a separate entity than you. Like you have your social security number, your business has its EIN number, and it even has like a birth chart. Like I know tons of astrologers that do readings on the birth chart of your business by like looking at the articles of incorporation and stuff. So even by the eyes of the federal government, your business is a separate entity than you. So your business has a network, a following, an audience. It has its own friends. It has its own relationships separate than you. And your business has a face, your website. And your business has its own vibe, which is branding. So in a great example here is Nike. Who knows who owns Nike? No one knows who owns Nike, but someone owns Nike, or like a group of people own Nike, and they're killing it, man. But when you see these shoes, you see the branding, you hear the name, we all think of the same company. That's an example of the externalized energy of reputation. It houses this power. So some practical things here is start thinking of your business's identity as separate than yours. Obviously, optimize your business's website. That is its face. That's how people are finding it. Intentionally define your business's branding. Like, I know so many people who have amazing businesses and they like don't really think about branding at all. I mean, they like don't actually think about when someone like hits their website or hits their social media channel, like what vibe are they getting? Also, intentionally build your business's network, which most of us are doing with social media, with email marketing, with running ads, right? And resource here is Shoe Dog. It's not really a resource, but it's a fun read. It's the story of like the foundation of Nike. Really, really fun book to read. And okay, next one is intellectual property. So this is our third externalized energy of our business, our intellectual property. So your business houses your intellectual property or its own intellectual property. So this is the books, the blog, the podcast, the courses. That's separate from you. Like maybe it came out of your head and you channeled that information or from your experience, but your business, it's held in the powerful container that is your business. And so some action steps here are, start actually housing intellectual property in your business. Contemplate how to keep your IP safe. How do you actually keep your intellectual property safe instead of like people plagiarizing you or copying you? And design different avenues to share your IP. So maybe you're only showing up on social media and when you really should be building out a course and housing your intellectual property in there, or writing a book, or starting a podcast, or doing trainings. Like, how can you house intellectual property, pull stuff out of your brain, out of your energy body, out of your field, and put it into a container within your business? Okay, so our next one is team. So your business has a team running it, managing it, and fulfilling its duties. This is a really, really big one. Really, really big one, because our team magnifies our time and it gives you time back, right? And we already know that, like delegating tasks to someone else. Well, like even if I know for myself, like I'm super triggered by reading my email inbox, emotionally triggered, whether or not there are like positive or negative emails in there. There's something about it. I'm sure I could dig into it and do some shadow work around it, my friends, but I am. So it's something that I have now delegated to someone else because it would literally only take me 15 minutes to do the thing. But this other person, it drains my energy by even just like thinking about it and worrying about it and whatever the things are. So why not just delegate it to someone else who can do it? I mean, there's a million things in business that we're not good at that we should be delegating, or we just don't have time for. Like once you get to a certain level of success within your business, like you stop having time for things. So that's when, and you start having money for things. So that's when you start actually building a team to help you. This is an addition since the last time I gave this presentation, because I got so many people asking, what the fuck do I delegate? And shout out to Michael. There's actually a ton of people who talk about this and create frameworks like this. I've heard it first from Michael Hyatt, so I'm crediting him, and I enjoy the way he phrases it. So if we look at this lovely quadrant, we have our desire zone. These are the things we do that we're passionate and proficient at, right? That some people would call it your zone of genius, things that you're so great at and you enjoy doing. Then we have our disinterest zone. This is things that we're good at, we're proficient at, we're not really into it, we're not passionate about it, or we hate it. That's a great thing to delegate. Or we have the distraction zone. These are things we enjoy doing, we're passionate about them, but we're not proficient at them. Maybe they take us a really long time. So many people spend way too much time working on little social media images in Canva. when that's their distraction zone, they're really just procrastinating doing like some really like needle mover tasks in their business. So they're just going to spend a few hours in Canva, like working on their graphics. Calling out a few people here, I'm sure. And the drudgery zone. These are things you're not passionate about, you don't enjoy, you might hate, and you're not good at them either. This is the area we delegate first. And like, I mean, there's another side to this first, depending on where you are at in your business. If you have more time than money, then like you should, like when we're like stepping out to the disinterest and distraction zone, if you have more time than money, do the things you're proficient at and not, or excuse me, do the things that are, yeah, you're proficient at, but not passionate about, because you can delegate the other part of it. Versus if you have more money than time, like you should be delegating pretty much all of these things out. But like we're going one by one. And so like homework assignment after this is, oh, wait. Homework assignment after this, we'll get to that in a couple slides, is to actually write all these out. Like just like set a 10-minute timer on your phone and like take a journal out. Not right now, you guys. After this, set a 10-minute timer on your phone and write out each of these zones and write out all of the tasks. Maybe you need more than 10 minutes, but write out all the different tasks that fit into these different categories. And start thinking about ways that you can actually be delegating the drudgery zone. Because as highly sensitive people, as magical people, our energy matters so much. So maybe like you can't, it's not totally rational to delegate out certain things in your business because you want that income, you want that revenue. But realize how much this will unlock when you're not doing draining activities anymore. When you have more time to spend doing the things that light you up, whether that's within your business or not, whether that's the zone of genius in your business or just spending more time at the beach. So this applies to outside your business too. I just wanted to add this in because a lot of us, when we think delegation, we're like, great, hire a VA. But this could also be hiring someone to clean your house, hiring someone to do the dishes for you. Like, what does that 1 hour, that 10 minutes give you back? And just having a clean space, or like not having to do the laundry, or having all of these things in the back of your head, like extra apps on your phone. Have you ever had that? Like I talk about this a lot of like when you have a bunch of apps all live on your phone at the same time and they're all running in the background, like you don't even see them, you don't have them open, but they're running in the background, how slow your phone is. But then when you go in and like shut off all those apps, you're like, wow, my phone's so fast. That's your brain. That's your brain when you're like worrying about all of these other things. So you can actually delegate things outside of your business as well. So some to-dos here: identify what's in your desire, disinterest, distraction, and drudgery zones. And of course, when we're talking about the drudgery zone, start delegating those things. Get back time and energy. And then take way longer than is comfortable in the hiring process. A lot of people, when they need someone or they decide they want to hire someone, they're going to go with the first person that comes instead of like actually trying to hire them. And I would recommend, from experience, taking a lot longer than you want to or like feels comfortable in the hiring process. So like actually building this out where you have multiple interviews with someone, you talk to multiple people, and then you have a second round interview with like other people, the people that you liked out of that, and then sending them trial tasks and doing a trial month with them instead of jumping in with both feet. Because I've seen so many times people like after a month of working together, like, oh, well, we're on a contract now, so that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. And I love hiring, because this is another question that comes up a lot of, okay, where do I actually find people? I do love finding people to work on your team or to work with through referrals and from your audience, assuming you have a large enough audience. But if you can maybe go in Facebook group, I did this yesterday. Like I went into a Facebook group of people who like are resonant of what I like and posted like searching for a VA for a client, like what recommendations do you have? I love working from referrals. It just, versus like having to scour the internet for people, but if you do have a sizable enough audience, just actually making the job description and sending that to your audience works really well. And then be patient, learning to delegate and to let go. This is a big one. This is a big, big, big one, because we think we're the smartest. We think we're the best at tasks. We think we're the fastest, when really, if we're patient enough to actually teach someone how to do it and let them be wrong at it and give them feedback and review them and all of that, then suddenly the thing that we think we're so good at and we're so fast at, someone else is doing it and we get that time back. And then final little thing here. Yeah, I mean, you can tell I have a lot to say about teams. Don't delegate the task, delegate the result. That's kind of like the next level thing, because we start with like just delegating tasks to our team, when like the next step is not just the task, you're delegating the result. I want 1,000 people to sign up for this webinar. Hand that over to someone on your team that you trust, that's already on your team. Right? I want to make $50,000 on this launch. Delegate that to your marketing manager on your team, instead of saying like, go through the tasks of fulfilling a launch. Okay. Our final one, which is systems. So your business, the externalized energy of the system in your business, arguably the most important. Your business has a grimoire of procedures, so it's never dependent on one person, including you. Most people call these standard operating procedures, SOPs. So that your business works on autopilot, your business uses technology to automate, your business iterates so that it becomes more efficient, because efficiency equals profit. The example I like to do here, and I talk about this on the podcast if you're a podcast listener, of how much I like relaunching something more than I like launching for clients. Like if we launch a new thing, I so prefer relaunching something that we've already launched before. Why? We have metrics. We already know like what people responded to what, and we have assets created, we have emails written, we have sales page made, we have like, that's the same case for all the systems in your business. When you've done it before, and every time you do it, you just work on making it better and better, and it takes less time, it takes less energy, it takes less of your team to fulfill it, or it's already automated, you get more profit, right? Because you have the same amount of revenue coming in, but less expenses to fulfill it. So some to-dos here. Start creating standard operating procedures for all the repetitive delegatable tasks. And this is an investment in your company. It is absolutely an investment because you don't see immediate results. But this is like one of the top keys to actually making it so that your business can become owner independent. Okay? Because suddenly you have this, like, as you keep creating them, or as you delegate even creating the SOPs to people on your team who are doing things, and as they keep making, like, editing or like redoing the video, if you're like creating videos of delegation tasks, like it gets better and better. So that's what I have here with create a culture of systems. It's like your team knows you create SOPs for what you do, and you continually rewrite them and make them better. Okay. Also, identify where technology can be doing the work for you and your team. And maybe this is a journaling exercise. And like, what if there's another thing that technology could do instead of my team? What about another thing? What about another thing? Like onboarding clients or sending out text reminders to people. A lot of this stuff can be automated. And that's also sales funnels and marketing funnels. How do we automate the sales process? Okay. So, warning. Don't focus on building externalized energies if you're just getting started in business. Okay? Because that actually becomes distraction. If you're setting up a sales funnel when you're not making enough money to pay your bills, you're procrastinating doing the harder thing of reaching out to people directly and making sales. If you're working on your branding, when you're not making enough money in your business to cover your bills, same thing. So if you are in the startup phase, focus on instead shadow work. Do some existential kink. Get comfortable selling. Get comfortable being seen, so visibility. Consistency, so important. When you have more time in your business than money, you need to teach yourself to be consistent and showing up. Just like post on social media every single day, create a new video every single week, send out an email to your list every single week. Eventually you'll be delegating that stuff. But when you're just getting started, like that consistency and building that muscle is really important, because that's the key to your audience, your people, your potential clients and customers trusting you, because we're just building relationships. That's all that marketing is. Mindset and believing in yourself and your offer, so important. Work on that belief. And copywriting. Your messaging is so important, and actually getting good at communicating the transformation that your work provides is so key when you're getting started. Okay. Leah asks, when you say reaching out to people and making sales, what do you mean? Is this via direct message? What's the approach? If making a funnel is a distraction. Okay, well, I'm realizing when I say funnel, that means a lot of different things, because a funnel can just be like posting on social media and then people finding you and then you have a sales call with them. So Leah, I don't know what your business is, but if you do one-on-one services, when you're just starting out and you're getting your first handful of clients, I really do recommend doing direct reach out for things, just because it makes it like the gap between you having a client and you not having a client get closer. It's just the highest converting thing than like putting out a social media post when you're just getting started, right? Of course, at the same time, you're building out your social media, you're building out your email marketing, you're building out all of the other things. But if you're just trying to get enough clients to cover your bills, like sharing with your friends that you do what you do and get referrals that way, like direct reach out to people you would love to work with. Like, this is my 2 cents. Other people argue, but like from my own experience in my business and in like seeing other people's businesses and the behind the scenes of it, like when you're just starting, it works really quickly if you can direct it in a weird way. That's where the shadow work comes in too. Like if you feel weird about like you need to get on the side of reaching out to people, even if like you don't really love doing it. So I hope that answers your question, and we can return to it in the Q&A part at the end if I didn't answer it. So I wanted to give an example of owner independent businesses in here. So Carolyn Elliott, as I mentioned, I didn't mean to put it in that first slide. It was for a presentation to her group that it would have made sense, but here we are. So Carolyn Elliott, she, before we started working with her, she got to multiple 6 figures in annual revenue without a team. It was just her and a VA, and she got to multiple 6 figures. Magical, right? Like that's a very powerful woman. But then she got pregnant and she was dreading launching. She launches online courses and programs. It's a huge, like a core capacity of her business making revenue. And she didn't want to launch again. She's pregnant. So we started working with her, and like, okay, if she didn't launch again, she wouldn't make money because her business was reliant on launches. So what we did with her is, in these 2 years of working with her, is like we built out a full team. We have community managers, we have like the marketing all set, we have client care specialists within our team. So she pretty much only has to show up for 1 workshop a month. And she has a 7-figure, almost multiple 7-figure business now. So, and this is like, she had the sales, she had the offer, she had like some great products, but she was in this owner reliant business state. She needed to be the driver of the cart moving forward versus being able to actually step back and be more detached, allow a team to support her, allow funnels to be in place around these, to actually bring people in and take them through the sales process. So do this now. We're going to be like switching a little bit from externalized energies. As I mentioned, your business has its own soul. The sooner that you accept this, the sooner that you can actually tap into the energy of this and use it for deep wisdom. If you're trying to create this larger entity that is an empire beyond just you, then you need to start communicating with it. Okay, your business. You can actually ask it what it wants and needs. You can ask it what direction it wants to go in. You can ask it what its vision is for the future. Because even if you are a solopreneur right now, you're not alone in your business. If we have time for this at the end, we're going to do a soul of business guided meditation. I just have a few more things I want to go through of like the visionary CEO, like the personal identity side of this before we do this. So, and then the people that don't have time, because I think we might go a little over, they can drop off before the guided meditation and listen to it when it's convenient. I also have it as the guided meditation for this specifically on the podcast, Business as a Magical Practice. It's episode 24. Okay, so moving into the opportunity of the visionary CEO. The U.S. self market is predicted to be worth over $13.2 billion by 2022. So, of course, that includes spiritual and magical businesses. This is a billion with a B, friends. And on the global side of that, the global personal development market size was valued at $38.2 billion in 2019, and is expected to grow to $56.7 billion US dollars by 2027. That's a big jump, right? We have a lot of opportunity. We have a ton of opportunity. Now imagine how this forecast may be affected by a global pandemic. I see it with my clients. I'm assuming the people who are listening, like all you guys listening now, like you're seeing it in your own online, all the place. People are waking up. There are definitely people, more and more people waking up every single day who are becoming more conscious, who are becoming ready to like step into these other areas of life, get a little more weird, and like less trusting of what we thought of as stable. So many people thought corporate jobs were stable. I argue they never were, or they haven't been for like 30 or 40 years. We no longer have like pension plans and like the one corporation that we work for until we retire. And we have so much more agency as our own business owners and control. But so many people are waking up. So many people are needing this. So many people are wanting to hear about astrology and tarot and energy work and magic, right? So there's so much opportunity now. And so the Harvard Business Review did a study of where they found that the Harvard Business Review did a study where they found that there are two kinds of CEOs: manager CEOs and visionary CEOs. So the CEO managers spend most of their time managing projects, delegating, and working on the nitty-gritty details of their business. They're actually in the weeds of their business, watching over the people and the systems that are under them. And then there are CEO visionaries. They spend more time on the big picture, expanding the business, coming up with innovative ideas, creating the vision, and inspiring their supporting team to make it happen. So guess whose teams were more productive? Visionaries. Visionaries' teams were more productive. And guess who had bigger profits? Yes. Visionaries. The CEO visionaries who spend most of their time not in the nitty-gritty of their business were more profitable and productive. Their team was more productive. So, from this presentation, there are two sides of this picture. You stepping into the role of visionary CEO, you actually being comfortable delegating and letting go of control. Does that like scare you? I know so many people are like, let go of control of my business. I can't imagine. While also building up your business's externalized energies. So that everything we talked about today. So we're building this foundation so that we can actually be the visionary CEO of our business. They both need to happen simultaneously. This is the key to being the successful lazy bitch, my friends. And together you have a scalable business that turns you on. You become the successful lazy bitch. So another client example from this last year. So this client got to multiple six figures in annual revenue with a 10-person team and fairly small profit margins because they're paying for a lot of people to help. And they were at multiple six figures for years. So successful business by so many accounts. And then COVID hit, and the CEO of the business had to step away to actually homeschool her kids. So she could only be present in the business a certain number of hours a week. So she suddenly had to prioritize her zone of genius, prioritize that desire zone, right? And before the end of 2020, before the end of the year was even over, they got to 7 figures. So they ended the year hitting over the $1 million mark in their business for the first time. They were trying for years, and it required the CEO, the owner of the business, to step away from actually doing a lot of things in her business. But when she had the time, she was just doing things that she shouldn't have had her hands in. It forced her to let go of control and like be in a more trusting energy. So owner independent business for the win. Let us go to the questions. Dawn says, I have another call to get to, but thanks. Great presentation. Thanks for being on with us, Dawn. And questions. So, can you go from stage 3 straight to owner independent? What we are aiming for. So, Caroline, you asked, can you go from stage 3 straight to owner independent? What we are aiming for. So I'm guessing that startup phase directly to owner independent. Yes, technically you can. You usually see that more in like e-commerce or like physical product based businesses versus service businesses or like personal brand businesses. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but like you do absolutely see it where people will make supplements or whatever, and they'll just go straight to selling those with advertising and stuff. But usually there is a having to be in that owner independent, like not, you can, it's not like this, these are like huge timelines here. You can get to this owner independent stage or this owner independent stage very quickly, but you have to pretty much be making enough money within your business to start building a team if you want to have a team. Yeah, maybe Caroline, if you want to add in the chat, put in more details about your situation, just so I can be specific with it. Jocelyn, how do you do branding for your art when you paint everything and anything? Don't like to be labeled as one. When you like to experiment. How do you do branding for your art when you paint everything and anything? Don't like to be labeled as one. Like you don't like to be labeled as an artist. You don't like to be labeled as a brand when you like to experiment. I'm confused by your question, Jocelyn. Caroline, if we are at stage 3, so I think that's the startup phase. I think you're referring to the startup phase. Is it still appropriate to delegate the drudgery zone? Yeah, you totally can. If you don't have time, sometimes you just have to delegate. Usually you have income from another source then, or you're making at least enough to, cover your bills. Hello. But for example, my friend who's starting a life coaching business, she is delegating, investing a lot into Facebook ads, and she hired a VA, where she's not fully into that owner reliant phase. Like she's not fully covering everything through that business, but she has money coming in from a different business, other sources. So she doesn't have time. She has 2 kids. So she's choosing to instead leverage money instead of time and paying a virtual assistant to do stuff for her so that she can grow faster. Happy to answer follow-up questions around that. Vanetta, is it possible to detach more in a service-based business and step away completely eventually? Yes, absolutely. You just train people how to do what you want them to do or hire people who are already good at it. But absolutely, like I just talked to an astrologer yesterday who is training another astrologer to come on her team and give readings. She also wants to keep doing readings, but now she has another person that she takes a profit off of, because she's the one who has the business that within all the marketing and all the stuff to actually get that other astrologer clients. So yes, absolutely. You definitely can. Maybe you want to tell Vanetta, maybe you want to share what your service-based business is. And I mean, you see this in the life coaching industry too. Like you create a certification program because you get to a point where you have intellectual property to share, a certification, and you train people to do what you do, and suddenly, and then there's a million ways to structure it. They are either employees in your business that you are marketing for and getting, like you have a website and stuff, and you have the traffic to come to you, or maybe they have their own businesses, but because you're giving them clients, they're giving you a kickback, a certain percent for getting them their clients. Yeah. Jocelyn says, labeled as a certain type of artist. Okay, so I'm going back to Jocelyn's question. How do you do branding for your art when you paint everything and anything? Don't want to be labeled as a specific type of artist. You like to experiment. I mean, you're doing branding for your business, and then you can have a bunch of different series within your business. Do you do, what kind of work, Jocelyn, do you do like commission stuff, or are you just creating and selling, or, yeah, tell me more. Elizabeth says best year ever. Me too, Elizabeth. Got it. What if you're the expert of your business, Vanetta? Well, then you have to create the IP. You have to create courses or trainings where you're actually teaching what you're learning, but you're in a service-based business. I mean, this works for service-based business too, or you train other people to do what you do. So you either house your expertise into a book or a training or a certification, or like house it in some way and sell it that way, or you train other people to do what you do and they work for you. They work within your business. How many clients do you have? Oh my gosh, that changes so much month to month. We're really focused on our alchemical business intensive launch right now. So I've intentionally scaled back on clients, but right now we have 5 clients in different capacities of like just like small Facebook ad projects versus like we do literally everything for them. But we've had up to 10 clients at a time. It was a little hectic. I don't think we'll go back to that. Vanetta, shadow integration coaching for couples. Ooh, how juicy is that, Vanetta? So, and you want to be 100, you want to fully step away from your business. Yeah, I think what I said applies, of creating trainings for people to do it themselves, or teaching other coaches how to do your process, because then you get paid for them to certify them, and you can get, like, if you choose, you can get certain percentages. You can also license your work. Okay, Eileen, I lost my other income in June 2020, so now I have the time but not enough money to delegate and grow with my passion project. I am a relationship attraction coach, Ascension Partnership. Okay, so you have a lot of time and not much money. And I'm trying to find your past question that refers to. I would love to know how to be more seen to receive the money to have a VA. I mean, as a coach, I mean, it goes back to what I said of, I think that telling people you already know what you do and asking them if they have referrals, or finding people who you love to work with and starting conversations with them. Like direct human interaction is really, really good. I mean, it just converts better, like especially if you get referrals from other people, like they convert so much, like 80 to 90% versus like other ways, which are like 10%. You can also pitch podcasts beyond, or write articles and write them and put them on online magazines. Yeah. But I mean, there's a million and one ways to be visible. It can also be the shadow work side of just getting started, of like, do you have any resistance to actually being seen? Okay, I think we're out of questions, you guys. Feel free to ask more while I wait for more questions to come in, if there are any more. Just again, going back to the Alchemical Business Intensive. This is the program we have open right now. We're starting the second week of March, and it is a 3-month container. We're only allowing up to 10 women in, or people in, who are business owners and who want to pretty much scale up their business. And like, how do we actually build that foundation? Everything we talked about today. It's not for people who are like, I've never sold anything before, because we're not going into how to sell. Like, you need to know how to sell your offer and you have your offer in place. We are going into actually how to do aligned offers, because it's been it's been a repeating issue with clients of ours, where you'll make a course and just out of whimsy, and then never want to launch it again. Like, we need to be making offers that we see being in our business for the next 3 to 5 years. Like, of course, situations change, but as I said, efficiency equals profit. So if we can create an offer that you want to sell over and over and over again, launch over and over and over again, you're actually creating more efficient systems. Yes, it's a group container. So you get monthly one-on-one calls with me, weekly trainings, and then weekly group Q&A. So it's a lot like a mastermind, but we're adding in the training element, walking you through conscious marketing, and walking through like how to run Facebook ads, how to build a team, how to actually create the systems within your business. So yeah, it's open now. I invite you to check out the page. It's pretty in depth on what actually is happening in it, and you just apply on that website, and immediately you get invited to be on a call with me, and we chat about you and your business and if it makes sense.